Hey there everyone, Lord Frigid here with another episode of Ether Raids gameplay. Today's video features the recently completed Chaos season. The first match here is Caeda team plus Celica bonus unit against a map that I believe was probably afflicted by the bug that they had that announcement about, where if you did not participate at all in the first Chaos season, your defense map might be messed up at the beginning of the second Chaos season. Quite unfortunate. But regardless, Celica was able to clean up all three units here for a swift, if rather boring, match 1. For match number 2, I deployed this Gale Force Blitz plus Canto Abuse team against a block of units, I guess is what I'll call it. It might seem a little bit gutsy to send in Edelgard, who has almost exclusively warp movement, against a team with a Gatekeeper that prevents warp movement, that is warp movement within 4 spaces of his person. I actually ended up forgetting about Dorothea Twilight Harmony's weapon, and I needed to take a turn to reset, and at the beginning of the next turn I had her shake the attack penalty, and then she was able to get the KO on the Gatekeeper and go on to grab the KO on Dorothea and then retreat to safety. Or, well, not exactly to safety. I believe with the warp power from ground orders that Byleth might have actually been able to hit her. I did end up needing to take another turn to just wait and have the enemies approach, since it's a little awkward that Edelgard can only move 3 spaces in cardinal directions. I did end up having her fight Felix for 2 straight rounds of combat, despite the fact that it exhausted all of her actions, because I knew it would be possible to get her out to safety with the power of Canto Abuse. And after that, it was just a matter of cleaning up the enemies, and of course getting that all-important bonus unit KO. Both Ephraim and Hector are eligible to receive the bonus unit KO credit, but in this scenario, it was vastly approaching the time limit. Turn 7, I believe, is coming up right around the corner, and Ephraim just has more mobility, plus he can handle the KO with stat stacking and guaranteed follow-up. In match number 3, I deployed my mystery theme team that I built because it was released 2 and I wanted to abuse legendary Marth. The interesting things to note about this map are that none of the units have Hardy Bearing, and the assist setup is such that Hector moves before Eitri, and he doesn't have armored boots, so that means that Triandra's Refresh will go to him and not to Eitri, which for what I'm doing is just absolutely devastating for this enemy team. If it's not apparent already from how I'm positioning my units here, the strategy in this case is to reposition Legendary Caeda straight up, have her take down the Bramamon to get the Vantage effect from Faithful Loyalty, and then Vantage sweep both Crom and Ishtar on the enemy phase, since they, without the power of inflated mythic boosted stats, they cannot actually withstand a single attack from her. Then, as I mentioned, Hector moves, gets the refresh from Triandra, and after that, it's Marth time, moving in to KO all 3 of the green units, not in the same turn, for better or for worse. This turn, he was only able to take down Hector and Eitri. Unfortunately, I was not able to have a unit within 2 spaces of him for the enemy phase. I was actually a little worried about that at first, and then I realized, wait, it's Triandra. She's at a color disadvantage. Marth has a lot of stat stack. He's gonna be fine. And that was the end to match number 3. In match number 4, I deployed the mystery theme team once more. I saw the Medeus on the map, and I thought it would kind of be poetic justice to deploy a team with legendary Marth on it. Since he also is one of my best counters to Medeus, or he was one of my best counters to Medeus this season. So that was an extra incentive. The enemy team does not have any refreshers, which makes the map a lot less threatening, especially with the fact that they have to all kind of funnel down through that one narrow opening. I actually thought that there might have been a chance that Yoon would have been able to attack that previous enemy phase through the power of warp. The Ashnard does have a rally, so I was envisioning some complicated warping shenanigans, and that's why I set things up for Tiki to be able to far save and attack. Didn't end up happening, but actually, now that I think about it, I don't think Tiki fought a single time this entire season, which is a tad unfortunate, but Oh well. Let's see. What else is there, really? Not much. I just needed to take a little extra time to get my units in position to grab the ether structures. Fortunately, Medeus was not going after Caeda Sea Blossom pair, and Marth was able to finish the job. For match number 5, I deployed the Caeda team against this kind of space oppression-ish setup. I actually got a little stuck in light season mode, and I thought to myself, okay, I can have Caeda take out the Note, and then she'll get into Wings of Mercy range. I can maybe have Azura take down the Bramamon, blah, 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 blah. Well, that thing with the non-mythic inflated stats affects me too. Caeda did not have enough bulk to take down the Note, and I was forced to reset my positioning a bit. Fortunately, I do have Caeda Sea Blossom pair, who has triangle advantage and effective damage against Note. She was able to take out the Note no problem. And here, Ishtar does not have an assist, so she moves first, which, for this particular situation, is completely useless. She's not able to do anything at all with that refresh, and the enemies approach harmlessly. And after that, it basically becomes a Celica show. Celica, of course, being the bonus unit, it's good to have her get at least one KO, but she also has Gale Force and, of course, Double Lion and Royal Sword combo. Very well, I was able to have her take down all of the enemies after the Note. And here I just needed to get in position to grab the Ether Fount, or sorry, grab the Ether Amphore after, and allow Celica to just hold the the Peony in place while I got set up to do that. So pretty straightforward cleanup, and that's match number 5. For match number 6, I deployed the Caeda team again against this, I'm not really entirely sure what to call this. It's kinda space oppression-ish. It's space coverage. It's not really space oppression. Space oppression would be if you actually threatened it well. But this was just, there was a lot of space covered, but they did it very poorly. Caeda was able to trap the Tethys turn 1 and then take her down turn 2. I did run into more troubles with the lack of mythic inflated stats. Caeda is normally, at least in light season, able to just step on hex traps without regard for the consequences because they don't affect her. In light season, she has too much HP for them to even take away her action. Here, however, that is not the case, and I did need to set things up to the point where I was able to grab the Ether Amphore and then have Caeda Sea Blossom pair finish the Hector. She's able to do that quite well thanks to effective damage against lances as opposed to effective damage against armors. And yeah, that's coming up pretty soon. The heavy trap being real is a bit of an inconvenience, but ultimately not too bad. I was able to just have her wait to shake that debuff, provide a refresh with Azura, and then reposition Azura out of the way so Hector doesn't attack her. So pretty straightforward stuff to end the match. In map number 7, I deployed my Gale Force Blitz / Canto Abuse team against this prison setup. I did end up placing Azura on the very left-hand side below the lake tile. The objective there is to get the ranged units moving. That's going to allow them to approach without allowing the melee units to approach as well. And once they got close enough, I actually went ahead and broke that structure, had Edelgard start going to town. Unfortunately, she was not able to grab the KO against the Fjorm, but that's perfectly fine. I wasn't really expecting her to. It would just been a nice little bonus. And then I believe, Ephraim was able to take out the Fjorm with his guaranteed follow-up and stat hacking, of course. And really, the only potential complication remaining is the Hell, since she does have that miracle effect on her weapon. Ultimately, it ended up not being that big of a deal. Since Edelgard does have that Strikes Twice effect, she is able to take down the Hell with just a very straightforward 2 rounds of combat. For match number 8, I deployed the Caeda team one final time against this block of units. I'm still not sure what exactly to call maps like this, but that's what I'm going to be going with. My initial plan here was actually to go after the Hector. since Caeda Sea Blossom Pair is able to power her way through that. Eventually, however, what I ended up deciding was that it would be more beneficial to go after the brave Edelgard. She is quite bulky. She does have Bonfire, and her seal is a breath skill. However, Celica is able to punch through all of her HP in the first 2 strikes. She doesn't need to take a Bonfire. The mitigation doesn't affect her because the second attack from Celica is a strikes twice effect, not a follow-up attack. And because Hector had no assist, he was able to force Raisin's Refresh. After that, it was just a simple matter of cleaning up. Celica was able to run through all 3 of the green units on the right-hand side. And then from there, it was just a matter of dealing with Erica. I was rather suspecting the Erica would not be going after Celica, and it turns out that that was indeed true. I just figured she'd be more inclined to go after... Actually, I thought she was going to go after Caeda. Looked like she was going after Naga. But regardless, I was able to clean up the map. And that is it. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Chaos Season gameplay. I do rather enjoy the fact that it replaced Aster Season this time. I do like Light Season a lot more than Aster Season for reasons that you can all probably guess. I do plan on doing a video for Light Season next week, so keep an eye out for that. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.